Oh, yes, I could retire to this.
Yes.
4 famous pensioners are on a brand new adventure travelling the globe in search of the perfect place to retire.
It's an explorer's world from now on, and we want to explore the lot.
I mean, even the lavatory looks nice.
A perfect place for me to grow old would be clean and comfortable, obviously. It would have to have excellent internet access. That would be a complete must. And I would have to have servants.
I'm going for a wee-wee.
If you live in a bubble on your own, you don't know what the other cultures in the world are like. You don't know what the people are like. You don't know how they live, you know, if you could learn off them.
Having sampled the American dream in Florida's gated retirement communities...
How many facelifts have you had?
10. Now Miriam, Wayne, Rosemary and Bobby are venturing east to try and discover the secrets of longevity in Japan.
If I lived here, I wouldn't be fat.
I think it would be very hard for us to adapt to live in Japan.
Nipples so high.
Well, I think they will think we're vulgar. But there's nothing we can do about that.
I've had an accident.
We're now having to rely on each other a lot more. We're out of our comfort zone.
Does anybody know any Japanese here?
No.
Japan, a land of ancient culture, tradition, and one of the longest life expectancies in the world. Could it be the perfect place to spend your golden years?
Over there, tickets. Kyoto.
It's not Kyoto, it's Kyoto.
It's Kyoto.
Kyoto.
Oh, that's going to be a laugh, this, isn't it?
When you're choosing where to spend the last years of your life, depends on many factors. The biggest problem for me being in Japan will be the language. But I'm very excited. I feel like a kid going on a trip. It's thrilling.
The group have flown nearly 6,000 miles across the globe and landed in Japan's 3rd largest city, Osaka. From there, they'll be travelling on to the historic former capital, Kyoto.
Tickets for Kyoto. Kyoto. Yeah, it's
these tickets. Thank goodness you're here. Can you speak English?
Yeah, no English.
No English. Okay, well...
Sorry.
no Japanese.
Thank you so much.
I don't know what the word for thank you is.
Kanaswada. That means, have you got a boyfriend?
I don't know any Japanese, but I'm trying to surprise the others by learning a little bit of Japanese.
Ohayo. Ohayo. What does that mean? Good morning. Ohayo. Ohayo. Oh, Ohio. Ohio. Okay, guys, right. You're all responsible for your own tickets. Oh!
Oh, just go. For Kyoto?
You have Osaka ticket only.
Oh, we've got the wrong tickets.
It doesn't matter. She's putting them right.
Don't you tell me
She's
off like
putting
that.
them right.
Listen, you were the one in charge of the tickets and you got it wrong.
I didn't think about that one. Kyoto.
Japan's railway system is famous for being one of the most punctual in the world. The 9:46 Osaka to Kyoto has just arrived, on time.
Are you all right, Bobby?
Where is he?
Down here.
Right.
Where's Miriam?
Arigato.
Arigato. Tickets.
Thank you.
Arigato.
Oh, my God.
You have to be so quiet about everything you do. If we shout, they don't like that. They feel it's very aggressive to them. And anything like farting, perhaps, out loud, they wouldn't take to very much.
Oh, I thought they did.
Oh, no, I don't think so, darling. And,
Oh, no,
well,
that's China.
The group are basing themselves in Kyoto, the cultural heart of the country. With its vibrant aging population, a third of Kyoto's residents are over 60. The ancient city is famous for its spectacular scenery and iconic shrines and temples. But this morning, a typhoon has just hit.
The weather is catastrophic.
It's like being at home, the weather. It's actually pissing down the rain, bad.
Shall we get a taxi?
yeah,
Miriam, shall we get a car?
we need taxis.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll go in the one behind.
Okay.
Arigato. Yes, please. Thank you.
I'll go in this side. Japanese people are extremely polite, and they are also quite formal. That's going to be a little bit difficult for me because I'm not formal.
Thank you.
And I think we may need some guidance.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome to Kyoto. My name is Isao Tanahara.
Say that again. Isao.
Yes. Please call me Isao Tanahara.
Isao. Isao
Tanahara.
Tanahara.
Isao Tanahara.
Yes.
Lovely.
Will it change, driver? Will it change? How long does it take, running like this? Couple of 3 days and it's cleared up?
I think so.
Is it just seasonal or a few times a year?
Only today, you know.
Only today.
That's their luck.
Isao, do you always wear a hat and white gloves?
Yes, ma'am.
So you have to wear that.
We have to wear.
Because in England they don't do that.
It's very unusual.
Very.
It's very unusual. And very formal.
Formal. I hope you like it.
I love it.
It's lovely.
Oh, fine.
Is this a temple on the left?
On the left is one famous temple called
Yes.
Higashi Honganji.
Yeah, I see how the roof goes. I think that's snobby how they do that.
Isao, you have a very elderly population.
That's right.
They live a long time.
That's right, madam. That's a very
How
true.
come?
Exercise. Yes.
Yes.
It's exercise and diet.
This is amazing. This is just what I imagined Japan to be like.
To fully experience retirement Japanese style, the group will be living in a quiet suburb of northern Kyoto.
Gosh, certainly in the back and beyond, isn't it?
But life here isn't cheap. The average house is over £300,000, with living costs some of the highest in Japan.
We're almost here, Bobby. Are you excited?
I'm apprehensive.
Apprehensive, that's good. I've been to Japan before, but only as a performer with the Royal Ballet. What you first experience when you arrive in Japan is a totally different way of life. There's only one way of doing everything, and that is their way. I'm not sure the rest of our group will enjoy that. I think Japan will be a big culture shock.
I think the chairs may be a bit low down. I'm rather worried about it.
The group are moving into a house owned by 73-year-old twin sisters Setsu and Fumie.
Hello.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Don't mind. Thank you so
Weather
much.
doesn't matter. You are the welcome.
So much.
It's too heavy for you. Don't worry. Don't worry. I don't want you to carry it. It's too heavy.
Take our shoes off.
Yes.
Oh, bye-bye. Thank you so much. Okini. 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 Oh, no. You can't do that. No. Give it to me. No.
Hello, darling. All right. Got your sister.
Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa. Arigato.
Irashaimase, welcome. My name is Fumie. Fumie.
Konnichiwa.
But how is it you're on your knees? I'm not sure I could get on my knees.
Norma. It's Norma. Norma.
What do you do in that room?
This?
Yes.
Somebody sleep with
Yes.
futon?
With a futon.
Ah, yes.
Oh, this is a bedroom.
Ah.
Is this where we're sleeping? Great. Thanks. Thank God for that.
With space at a premium, Japanese homes often have living rooms doubling up as traditional sleeping areas at night.
I've never been in a home like this. And while I'm in Japan, I want to be a Japanese person.
Okay. All I know is that I don't want to sleep on the floor. I don't want to sleep on a futon.
On this occasion, upstairs there are also Western bedrooms for the group to choose from.
Oh, wow.
You can choose.
I'm happy with this.
Very, very nice.
Well, I'm happy with this one. Not the other one.
I'm happy with this one. This is fine.
I'm happy with this one too. Well, because I'm not sharing with, there's 2 beds in there.
They're not sharing. Where's the loo? I'm a bit funny about the toilet. The toilet is quite an important part of my life. And I want to be sure that I've got a toilet near my bedroom.
No, I don't want that bedroom. I don't want that bedroom. I want this bedroom.
Oh, okay.
Rosemary can have that one.
This is perfect for me.
Is it? Good.
Yes, it's fine.
And you can have a friend to stay.
Yes.
Nice. Nice and close.
That'll do me. Lovely jubbly. When you're asleep, you don't see nothing anyway. You don't see nothing when you sleep. A bed is to sleep in, not to look round the room. I don't look at the furniture when I go to bed.
Thank you for your sweet welcome. It's beautiful. You see, I have these socks. Thank you. I wear them because when you fly, you have to keep your legs tight.
I was in Tokyo, Bunkakai-kan.
Bunkakai.
Yeah, me. Royal Ballet. Ballet, yeah.
And you?
I throw darts for a living.
Wow.
You know what darts are? Yeah? Yeah.
Professional.
Yeah?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. All right, darling. So polite. They bow all the time and so grateful. I mean, we haven't done nothing. They're putting us up and they're grateful for us coming in their house.
We're in Japan! I can't believe it. Here we are. We've made it. It's so exciting.
Rosemary, chef, Miriam, actress, Bobby, Dutch player, Wayne, dancer. What impresses me about this place is that it's so Japanese. You know, because you...
We're in Japan.
I gave their dinner real Japanese style.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, come in.
Tonight, Tatsu and Fumie have prepared a welcome dinner of cold seaweed soup, tempura vegetables, and steamed egg pudding.
Wow, this looks incredible.
What is that?
Tempura.
Everything very healthy.
And what's that?
This is seaweed and cucumber.
That is very good.
The Japanese live longer than anyone else. And they say it's probably what they eat. So I want to find out what they're eating so I can join them.
I don't know if Bobby George will like the food. It's very traditionally English, egg and chips, I'd imagine. Oh, I shouldn't say that.
Do you need a
Well, I might have a
fork?
Yeah, give me a fork, though, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can use these, but I'll never get nothing in my mouth properly.
Do you eat sushi?
That sounds rude to me, to be honest with you. That's fish, is it, Shusty? There's a few things I haven't tried. Obviously, their menu's quite wide, isn't it? They eat everything in the world that moves or flies.
This culture is they're so polite, just respectful of everything anybody does. But also, I think it's quite scary because there's certain things you could offend. I would love to know, actually, what you should not do here.
Well, I know that you shouldn't put your feet on the table.
Well, that's the first thing you've done.
Do that
That's
at
very
home,
good.
anyway.
I did that. I think we're much noisier than Japanese people are.
Yes, we are.
And we're more extrovert, and we always draw attention to ourselves.
I don't think we do. It's just one of us talks more than the other one.
Oh, really?
I'm boss-sided. I'm not looking at anyone. I'm boss-sided, you know.
Do you know what? You're going to give me a complex soon.
Bloody hell.
Oh, it's right, Di. You can talk all the
No,
time.
you're going to
You've got
give me a
lovely
complex
voice,
soon.
Dad.
I'm going to get very embarrassed and go all weird.
You've got a lovely voice. I don't mind hearing your voice.
Thank you.
We're all different. Everyone's different. There's Miriam, she farts all the time. Doesn't matter where she is or what she don't. Oh, sorry about that, she says. And there's Wayne, he's very theatrical, you know. And there's Rosemary shouting at me. So I quite enjoy their company.
You're redeeming yourself, but not enough yet. You have to redeem yourself a lot more than that.
She shouts a lot, but she don't mean it. She's like a dog barking, but you love the dog, don't you?
And I think there's room for everybody. And that's what makes it interesting, that we're all so different, isn't it?
If I pull the chain in the night, is it going to disturb anybody?
Not really.
No? Okay.
I'm
Right,
going to
just-
turn off my air
Or
conditioning.
else just put the seat down.
Have you got air conditioning in your rooms?
Retirees in Kyoto tend to rise early.
Konnichiwa. This is my beautiful bed on the floor, and my back has never felt better.
There's some milk there.
I'm just going to fart. It's good. Oh,
Oh dear, not
oh
again.
dear. Who gets up at this time? 5:30.
Well, they do, obviously. We'll see how they do it, yeah.
Well, we're going to find out. Are you lot coming, or are you just going to sit and chat?
20 minutes from the homestay, some of Kyoto's oldest residents are gathering.
This is exciting.
Good morning.
Good morning. Do you come here every morning? Every morning. Almost every morning. Even in the rain. Even in the rain. Do you think it keeps you young?
Oh, yes.
It does. Sure.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Every time I move, something creaks. I don't know what we're going to do this morning. I'm rather apprehensive. But they're very friendly. And they all commented how fat I am. So that's very cheering for a girl. Oh, yes. They were...
Across the country, millions of Japanese senior citizens, some in their 90s, start the day listening to a Keep Fit broadcast known as Radio Taiso. Introduced in the 1920s to prolong life expectancy, the 10-minute routine transmits every morning at 6:30 sharp.
Oh, I don't know if I can do that. I can't jump.
Oh,
Having trouble.
If I jump, my tits fall out.
Obviously, I'm overweight, and it's ridiculous that I'm overweight at 75. I mean, you can be overweight at 20, and then I should have done something about it, but I didn't. So that's my fault.
This develops the breast.
I take a blood pressure pill every day,
My neck's stiff.
and I take alendronic acid once a week for osteoporosis. I have asthma, and what else do I have? I think that'll do for the moment.
I can't do that.
No, mind your knee.
If I could, I would live forever. I would really live forever. But relax, I'm not going to.
We're wasting away, by the way. You know, we all are. And if you face that fact and do something about it, you will achieve a longer life if you're fit.
Oh. Very good.
Very good.
Very
Yeah,
good.
really good.
Arigato.
Arigato.
There is something we don't do in our country. I mean, we are missing a trick somehow, somewhere along the line. I mean, this is something to be taken notice of. Look at the age. Look how old the men and the women are. They're agile, they're fit. I mean, this is incredible. Oh! I mean, whether I could live here or not will be another matter, but I love it. At the moment, it's looking good. So neat. Do you speak English? Do you speak English?
Yes, and I got it.
Despite Japan's high cost of living, another popular national pastime is shopping. Keen to tackle Kyoto's language and cultural challenges, the group are splitting up for some retail therapy.
It's a beautiful little car.
Now, hang on. Oh, no, it is automatic.
Rosemary's taking Wayne to a local market. She's after supplies to make sushi this evening.
I want to get knives.
The language is not that easy.
Here, I've got my little phrase. You tell me some words.
I've had an accident.
Go on.
Most Japanese retirees qualify for discounts on public transport.
Oh, that's the bus at this side of the road.
Miriam and Bobby are heading for Kyoto city centre.
We're going to the gadget shop.
What's the number of the bus? You know?
I don't know. I mean, I'm glad we're going in a bus and not a taxi because it's much more like real people. I don't think you get the flavour of a place.
No.
Do you? Unless you live a bit of the life of the native. I mean, I use buses all the time.
Do you get recognised?
I like being recognised. You know, if they said you were shite or something, then I wouldn't like it. But they always say, love your work and things like that. You know, they're nice. I like meeting people. Are they onions?
What's the futon like? Is it comfortable?
It's very comfortable.
Yes.
It's soft but hard at the same time.
I do love the house, don't you?
I think the thing is, we've all got our bedrooms at night, and you can close the door because living in such confinement with each other every day is bound to have pressure in certain areas. And, you know, we're all going to get a bit irritated.
I think we're getting on remarkably well.
Yes.
I tell you, Miriam's curbed her swearing.
Yes, that's good.
You noticed it?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm very pleased.
So am I.
Because I was
She didn't swear once this morning.
This seat is quite warm. That seems to me to be centrally heated. Under my bottom.
Might be the size of your bum, Jimmy, won't it?
Watch your mouth. Watch your fucking mouth.
That's the way I keep up.
Are we too loud? Do we speak too loudly?
Me, I don't think so. But some people, maybe I don't know, but around the suburbs, it's very quiet, especially
don't make a noise, whereas we go, ha ha ha, you know, we make a noise. Good thing Rosemary's not on the bus.
It's a real market. Oh, what fun!
Set in the grounds of an historic Buddhist temple, local pensioners with an eye for a bargain flock to Kyoto's largest monthly market.
Look at the temple.
Gosh, it's huge, look.
Oh, these are bonsai trees.
Yeah, they're bonsai. How old are these?
Do we need any bed linen?
No, don't worry. Let's look at it. We'll come back. Come on, we'll come back.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. What I'd love to do is find some knives.
Is it for the way you cut the sushi?
Yes, you cut it at an angle.
At an angle.
Right
so you
angle.
need a knife which will
You need the right
slice
knife.
that way. Here you are.
Oh my gosh, look at this. Hello.
Hey! Oh! Oh! Rosemary, you're so butch. Oh no, you cut yourself.
No, I did that earlier.
Oh,
I'm going to take the smaller one.
yeah,
The small
that's
one.
better. Nice jacket.
Wow!
It's a big old shop, isn't it?
Bring it on. This is my kind of shop.
Oh, my God, Bennett.
75-year-old Miriam is keen to explore Kyoto's 6-story electronics megastore.
Blimey, have you ever been in a shop like this? This is a drone.
See this? These are marvellous trees.
Yeah, this is a drone.
I think when you get to be the age that I am, there are new things coming out on the market all the time which make life easier.
I've never seen anything like it.
But I tend to get in a mess and have to ask for help.
Excuse me, please. Is it upstairs not phones, other...
Sorry, I am make a restaurant. Sorry.
Oh. Thank you.
What's that?
He didn't want to
Help.
help. I do want to watch that, because this watch is fucked. So...
Oh, that's nice. That's charming, that is.
I'm not a technophobe, I'm a technophile. I love it.
Good morning. How do you this one? Press that one. Ooh. Ooh, crikey. It's a bit personal. Hi, me. Oh, it's... Oh, I like that. That's like fingers. Yeah.
Oh look, these are nice.
You wanted to buy a dressing gown, didn't you?
Yeah, but I'd rather look for a sword.
Okay, so where's the sword?
Aido. Samurai. Aido. One whomp. Boom. Jump. Whomp. Flick. I'm studying samurai sword fighting in London. And I'm choreographing a ballet incorporating samurai sword fighting and classical ballet. Well, it's all to do with technique, simplicity, detail. So as you walk and you slice the person across his body, you mind away. You don't go there, you see. You go to there because anybody could attack you, and you go the quickest way up, but the hardest way down. Look him in the eye, flick the blood off, get into your hilter, wipe your hand, and retreat. Whomp, whomp, whomp. As you get older, I'm 68 now, you realise that time's getting less and less and less, and the end is creeping up on you. Well, it can creep as long as it likes. I'm not finished yet. I'm very ambitious to get the most out of life I can. So, in fact, life's become more exciting now I'm older.
That's Terrific. Okay, off we go.
Very nice. Thank you. Arigato.
Arigato. Thank you.
Thank you.
Three little girls from here. I'm actually driving in Japan. Woo! Woo! It really is something.
Less than 2% of Japanese residents are foreigners. Struggling to master all the etiquette do's and don'ts, Miriam and Rosemary need help.
Come through.
Thank
Do
you.
come through.
Carolyn, originally from the UK, has lived in Kyoto for 23 years and helps run a cultural support group for expats.
The thing about Japan is there are so many customs here. And I think if one was considering retiring in a place like this, you have to embrace their customs in a big way. Because one thing you wouldn't want to do is to find yourself in a situation where you're alienating yourself from society.
Thank you, first of all, very much for coming. We're floundering a bit. I think because if we're friendly and they can see that we're friendly, but it's just such a different culture.
Give us some really good tips on how to sort of act it.
You know, please and thank you, of course. You know,
the bowing.
Yes.
When should we bow and when should we not bow?
All the time, really. I mean, don't hesitate to
That's
bow.
strange.
Well, it's about being humble.
It's like being
mentioned
humble.
before.
That's right.
Yeah. Can you laugh loudly?
For women, it's, you know,
You put
like
your
a
hand
little
in
bit
front of you.
behind you. Yeah.
You and I better do that. Attracting attention is not
not good,
something to
yeah.
do.
Yeah.
That is hard for me. One thing can I ask about? What about farting? Because is that impolite?
Yes.
I
I
was
don't think I've
afraid
ever
of
heard
farting.
anyone.
You've never heard
Farting,
anybody
no.
fart. Nobody in Japan farts.
Well, I think they do it in the privacy of
They
their
do it
own.
in privacy. They're not like you, Miriam. They do it privately.
Right.
They're not going to let it all out when it needs to be out. There's a problem.
Okay.
Thank you very much for everything. And you've been brilliant.
Look, she bowed.
Yes.
We must bow too.
Yes, we must bow. Well, that was
an eye-opener. It's going to be quite tricky, all that business. Not farting I can manage, but not being self-important.
No, it's a bit worrying.
That's a bit of a worry.
It's because we're all rather loud, self-important people, in a way.
And we're used to, in a way, almost laughing at ourselves for being that.
Or in Cockney, lovely jubbly.
Lovely jubbly.
Lovely jubbly. That's it.
Despite officially retiring, it's not uncommon for pensioners in Japan to begin a new career. For Setsu and Fumie, it meant starting their own homestay business. The sisters have told the group about a job scheme which caters solely for the over 60s. The Silver Human Resource Centre employs over 5,000 of Kyoto's elderly residents. There are 1,200 branches across Japan.
I used to be so scared of interviews.
Today, the group have come to be assessed for their suitability to work.
自分自身の新たな生きがいを見つけていただく機会でもあり、
We're very interested in what you have to offer, and we are available depending on your requirements.
Bobby.
When was the last job interview you had?
I've never had an interview for a job. Ever.
What's your name?
What's my name? You want the whole name or just...
What is your name?
Well, Bobby. Bobby George.
Bobby, okay. Bobby what?
George.
George? Okay.
Yeah, George. As in King George.
Oh, okay. You're related to King George?
No.
Anybody who would employ me would be very lucky.
What do you see yourself in 5 years?
I'll probably be dead.
What are you capable of doing?
That's actually quite a serious question, because sometimes when you're older, you think you can do more than you can.
Let's go and sell. I'll sell myself. Oh, no, I didn't mean like that. I mean, I sell my personality.
I'm a team player. I'm a very good team player.
I don't ride horses, I can't drive a car, and I don't wash up, I don't clean, I don't iron, I don't do the laundry.
I have a degree in English literature from Cambridge University, so I'm fairly well educated. I am still hungry for success, and I don't think that I've achieved what I'd hoped because I've never been at the National Theatre. I've never been at the Royal Shakespeare Company.
How does that feel?
Infuriating. I feel infuriated that I haven't achieved what I'd hoped. But I still keep going. I have no children, so it would be good to do something, not just sit at home.
What job would you have in mind for me?
Oh, okay. Me?
Yeah, if you did.
Okay. So, you're, okay.
I think I'm unemployable.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I appreciate the opportunity to come today. It's a very wonderful thing to use the skill of an old person. And I will remember this when I go back to England. I'm going to tell them they've got to do what you're doing. It's good.
When can you start?
Well, I can start tomorrow. I can start straight away. Tomorrow?
Tomorrow? Okay.
Yes? Have I got a job?
Yes.
What job?
Tomorrow you find out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With the assessments proving successful, tomorrow the group will start their new jobs.
The job centre was fun. I really enjoyed myself there. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So you take a bit of soy, then you put a little wasabi in it and dip it.
That radish is gorgeous.
So you went to a gadgets shop.
I've got the chair with the vibrating chair and massage.
I know, I went to town. I mean,
It's
I had a
lovely.
gorgeous
It was really lovely.
Oh.
Oh, you're going to have a head massage. Oh.
Collapse.
Good night.
Yeah.
Sayonara.
See you
See you tomorrow. Good night. Thank you.
tomorrow.
Bobby! No, take that bit.
Do you know, this is the first time I've actually seen that view. Isn't it lovely? You could hear everything. It's urban living, but it's quite sophisticated because people are considerate. You don't hear screaming children and family rows and that sort of thing. We are the noisiest people here, definitely. If people are noisy, it disturbs me. I just love the peace. See that? You see how that scream? think that might be rosemary.
I love these. I love these, actually.
Yeah, you're an upset, are you?
You're Phil.
What's it like living under the same roof again?
Well, I mean, it's challenging, I think. I think we're all finding it challenging.
This morning, the group are getting ready to go to work. The Over 60s Job Centre has found them suitable placements.
You look terrific.
Rosemary and Wayne will be doing a shift in a traditional Japanese restaurant.
I'm excited about it, and I think it'd be a fantastic challenge. You know, learning something new.
So, can I help you in Japanese also? Konnichiwa? Konnichiwa? No, was it Konnichiwa? Konnichiwa.
Bobby and Miriam will be sales assistants in a gift shop.
I'm looking forward to it. But it's good experience, and I'll get into the way of it, and I'll take it seriously. I mean, I don't want to break anything.
Now, are you all in?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Break off, and off we go. Oh. Off we go.
Yeah.
Well, folks, we're on to our first day of work.
Yes.
Kyoto attracts over 500,000 visitors a year.
Well, we'll see you later, you guys, then.
Yeah, we'll see you later. Have a good time.
The group have been found work on Kiyomizu-Saka, the busiest tourist spot in the city.
Nice meet you.
I'm Koichi.
Koichi, my name is Miriam.
Takako.
68-year-old Takako also found work through the job scheme. She'll be assisting Bobby and Miriam on their shift.
So,
Put it on the apron.
work here, you have to wear apron.
Good. Have you got a big one?
Where? Have a look.
This size.
I'm a little bigger than that.
How long have you been working here?
About 2 years.
2 years.
I like always connecting with people, make me young.
Yeah, it's true.
Yes.
It's interesting, isn't
Yes.
it? And that's why you do it.
Yes.
Otherwise, you stay at home alone. Or...
That's right. I actually look after my mom, who is 90, nearly 90 years old. But if I stay home all the time, I will be
a little bored. Go crazy.
So
Go crazy.
that would really help my mind.
It
keep
does.
young.
Keeps it young.
Yes.
Active.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
So you talk to the people who's looking for memorial items of Kyoto
Yes.
and make them happy.
Hello. Would you like to have a look at some of the things in the shop?
Yes, could you show me
Because-
your bestseller?
Well, the everything is a bestseller. Have a look at some of the purses, because I think they're really beautiful. This is rude. These are the sumo wrestlers.
Oh, and you take Visa, that's good.
Oh yes, we take all credit cards here.
You will have to pay her more, she's a very good sales lady.
Goodbye, Anne. It was lovely to meet you. I think I would have been a good saleswoman because I want to please them. My mother had her own dress shop and hat shop, so I've inherited some of her skills. But it was good. Now we've got to get the next customer. It's never over, you know. Retail never ends.
What was them people you talk with? Australians?
Yes, Australians.
Well, it's not so bad when they talk the lingo. All right, girls. How you doing? Shopping?
Down the road, Rosemary and Wayne are about to face the lunchtime rush hour in one of Kyoto's busiest noodle bars.
That is lots of people.
And am I out there?
Rosemary is in the kitchen. Wayne will be waiting tables.
Look at the amount of
serve
people.
all this.
Not-
No, we'll be all right.
I just want to get going.
Come on,
It's
we've been through
I'm
worse
actually getting a bit
incidents.
nervous now, and I need to
Yes.
get going.
Excuse me, what's your name? Who are you?
My name is Yasu.
Yasu. My name Wayne.
Yasu is 69. He's been on the silver job scheme for the last 3 years.
Okay, you're going to help me, yes?
Of course, I will
Thank
do it.
goodness for that. You speak good English?
Thank you.
Do you? Oh, thank you.
I do.
Oh, good. Oh, well, that's very good. Thank you.
Service! We normally say service! Yep.
Okay.
Go for it.
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
Oh, my heart's palpitating. 20 to the penny. I'll just have to wing it. But I've got Yasu to help me. Ah.
Wow.
Meshe agare. Meshe agare. Very nice. How do you say bon appetit?
Bon appetit.
No, in Japanese.
In Japan, bon appetit.
No, I want Japanese.
どうぞ召し上がってください。
What?
どうぞ召し上がってください。
Slowly. どうぞ。
どうぞ召し上がってください。
召し上げて
ください。
You must go slowly for me. I can't hear.
Okay.
Am I doing all right? Am I doing all right? Am I doing all right? Okay.
Although Rosemary is self-taught, she's previously worked at a 3-star Michelin restaurant. But today is her first time in a Japanese kitchen.
I feel like a goldfish.
And she'll be making tofu tempura with the head chef.
Okay. Oh, I think that's quite stressful. This is new to me, but this is a challenge. I'm in my element. This is where I'm happiest. I am cooking in a Japanese kitchen. I mean, how good can it get? I'm doing blooming tempura. I mean, look at it. I'm sitting there and all the things. Okay. I think the most important thing is to keep going for as long as I possibly can. So to think about retirement now is not on the books. You have lots of old people who work here. People like me. That's good. That's really good. Well, look, I would like to die on the job, okay? I would like to die when I'm in the middle of cooking in the kitchen and just go.
The restaurant pays Silver Scheme workers a basic rate of nearly £6 an hour.
Why do you do this?
Well,
in old age? Because you could just relax, put your feet up.
That's right. I cannot fooling around the house every day, so...
You just couldn't play around the house every day.
That's it.
Is it good money?
Well, I don't care for...
It's not the point.
Not the point. I get minimum wages.
So it's not for the money.
No.
It's to keep active.
Keep active.
In old age, it keeps you going.
That's right.
Good. Okay. Well, here we go then.
Yep.
Well, I'm getting loads of exercise. What's this? Here we go.
Okay.
That's it. In the UK, you reach your sell-by date at the age of 65 years old. Arigato! Well, that's ridiculous. In Japan, you can go till you drop, apparently.
Thank you so much.
I think if you have good health, you should be able to go on as long as you can.
It's a bit of a tight fit, isn't it? It's sort of sideways into the washroom. Oh, Christ. I haven't got a clue how to do this. It's all in Japanese. And I can't read what it says here. Oh, God, getting old is such a fuck. Oh, dear. That's better. I put my clothes in. Do I then... Is the powder... Can we...
Okay. Let's have a look. Have you put the washing powder in?
No.
Okay, so...
How did you know it was there?
There.
You just guessed.
Right. Oh, I see. Okay, got it.
After a hard day's work, the group are planning a big night out. They're leaving the quiet suburbs of Kyoto and travelling an hour away to the bright lights of Osaka.
So many lights, you can't focus on one thing, can you?
No, yeah.
Hey?
Oh, it's bizarre, isn't it?
soy sauce everywhere.
Bob, look at that crab.
The modern city is a mecca for young people, attracted to its vibrant nightlife and contemporary culture.
That's nice.
Lovely, Jessie.
I'll email that to you, okay? This is weird, but actually...
I love it. It's like Piccadilly Circus, but better.
Having been to Japan before, Wayne has one big concern about living here.
I'm a bit wary of coming out and saying I'm gay to anybody unless I've already done my homework. Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Are they accepted in the community? Do they have to hide themselves? Or can they just be as they are? This is what they call a rendezvous.
I think it is.
Ah, hello.
Wayne and Miriam are meeting 45-year-old Tadashi, who came out to his parents 2 years ago.
Wayne and I are both gay, and we'd love to hear what things are like here in Japan.
Here in Japan, I think we're still behind about like being
yes,
gay.
I've heard it's not an easy thing to be gay in Japan.
Most of my friends, including my partner, they cannot tell their sexuality, so they're hiding because I think many Japanese people have many prejudice.
I feel that you are at the same stage as we were in 1966, because if I had to hide it,
It was not acceptable at all. I was an only child, no brothers and sisters, and we are Jewish. A very strong family will for the girl to get married and have children. I knew that I was gay, but when I told my mother directly, I told her, she told my father, who was a doctor, and he made me go to the drawing room of the house and on the Bible, our Bible, to swear that I would never sleep with a woman again.
that is outrageous.
I knew that I would have to make that oath, and I knew that I would break it, because the sexual feeling that you have is stronger than any oath could ever be. So I felt no guilt. I lied.
To please your father.
I lied to please them. And I said, no, I will never sleep with a woman again, knowing that I would. And I did. And I was lucky because I met the right person fairly early on. And we've been together for 48 years.
Well done. Wow. Congratulations.
So I was lucky. If I had to live in Japan, would I have to tone myself down?
Sometimes you need to hide.
Sometimes you need to hide. Well, I ain't doing that.
Well, then don't live here, mate.
I can't live here if I have to hide. That's not me. This is who I am. And if you don't like it, tough titty.
What's that supposed to be?
Known as the nation's kitchen, the group have picked one of Osaka's many modern barbecue restaurants for dinner.
It's exciting, isn't it?
It's brilliant, Rosemary.
Cheers. That's cheers. That's cheers.
Oh.
And I want a tea towel. Yeah. Big lady, fat lady. I don't know what they're saying.
The food's completely different in Japan, and I didn't expect it to be how it was. This is how I expected it. This is the bee's knees. I eat what I know.
Are you playing safe, mate?
I'm playing safe, yeah.
I tell you what, when you live with people, it's quite interesting because they see you in a different way to how you see yourself. And I think I'm far too enthusiastic. And I say words that now, obviously, I'm going to. So everything's brilliant. It's, you know, I'm going to curb that one. I'm definitely going to curb.
That's a good move.
The fact is, I never feel I can keep still.
I know. Well, that's why I find you irritating sometimes.
Oh, right. Am I irritating?
Only sometimes.
I know,
Just like I'm irritating sometimes. I think we all are sometimes. Because we're living in very close proximity to each other.
Oh, I've got mine. I love this scissor attack. Don't you? That you can attack food with scissors. I love the scissor attack.
It's 6:30 a.m. and another early start in Kyoto for Rosemary and Miriam. They've headed out to a traditional public paths just 20 minutes from their house.
Shoes off.
Every day, millions of Japanese people choose to soak in the therapeutic waters of a traditional hot spring, known as an onsen.
Oh. So we do have to go naked?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we come here early, so there's nobody here, thank goodness. Don't get me wrong, I love going to health farms and spas and things. I love that, but this is different. This is not my thing to go nudist.
Japanese people are slender, and therefore they're not embarrassed about their bodies, whereas I am, and I suspect that you are too, because you're overweight. So, you know, there it is. But,
why are you doing it then? Because it's experience, isn't it?
It is an experience. I'm happy. I don't mind doing it at all. My mother was a nudist, actually. She always used to do the housework in the nude, which confused the au pair girls a little bit, but we all managed.
I can't imagine my mother naked. Oh, God, no. Let's do the deed.
Don't pee in the pool.
Well, don't fart either, Miriam. I'm in there with you, so for goodness sake, restrain.
Farting is fine.
Not with me in the pool.
Ooh.
I don't know what to do now. Oh, God.
I've got me boobs, they've come too.
Oh, my dear.
I forgot that boobs float, and they're floating. I hope they'll stay with me. Nipples ahoy!
I think this is quite liberating, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure this is something I would do normally, because this is nudist, and I'm not a nudist person. When I was a child, I was very fat, so I've always been fat. And it's not feeling sorry for myself. I don't at all. I never did. But I was always the personality. I was always the personality. I can see why people live longer here, because it sort of keeps you de-stressed and calm. Taking the exercise. Okay, so it's compulsory.
Just for a minute.
Yeah.
Don't say anything.
Oh, really?
Let's
I thought
just...
that's rather interesting, actually.
Well, just for a minute.
I learned that it's really wonderful to have new friends late in life. I learned from Rosemary that I can cope with a whirlwind, because Rosemary is a whirlwind.
Miriam, I'm not going to say a word. And I'm going to let you enjoy the trees and the rainy day, okay? Is that all right? Oh, you've got to sleep? Okay.
in a way, she's quite childlike. And I think that's adorable.
Honestly, Rosemary, I could fart and it wouldn't affect you because you're in another bar.
I know, I'm so happy about that. You can fart to your heart's content as far as I'm concerned.
I honestly don't need to.
It's the group's last day in Japan.
The worst thing, of course, is that I have to put these bloody flight socks on. Got a book, and that most essential of extra things in your carry-on, an extra pair of knickers.
Before they leave, the group are taking the chance to visit one of Kyoto's most famous sites. The Kiyomizu-dera, a 17th century Buddhist temple.
Thatch roof as well.
Is it?
Yeah, the thatch roof, that is.
Gosh.
I'm going
to go to the...
I'm going to go to there and all.
To the railing.
Yeah, that's quite a view. Oh, I wouldn't like to fall down there. Hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kiyomizu Temple. Welcome.
Oh, thank you.
Would you like to...
Thank you.
Yes, please.
The temple is known for its ancient waterfall. It's believed that drinking the spring water increases life expectancy.
6 steps to go.
6.
大丈夫？
Hi, hi.
転ばないでね。
Thank you very much for
I
your
have
time.
to try. No, I will be fine because that's my journey. The end is in sight. In every way.
According to the legend, the Buddhist monk who took the Buddhist paintings under the holy water, when he passed away, he was over 200 years old. So,
I want to go and drink some.
yes, please.
You just drink it from here?
Yes, please.
Oh. Sorry, Rick.
No problem, no problem.
This is for another 60 years.
Another 16 years, please.
Helps you live longer, they say. And if we can do this and we can live for a lot longer, that's a very good thing.
Japan is very specific in how they deal with old age. The fact is, if they want a job, they can get a job. It's all to do with living longer and doing the right thing. It's a huge lesson. It's a massive lesson for us.
I'm going to live to 109 now.
Not sure about that, dear, but give it a go.
Oh, I'm sure. When the moment comes and I know that I'm going to die, I want to do it with a kind of radiance that I've seen other people have. Friends of mine who've died have died so well. And I think, oh, God, if I could do that. I don't know if I can, because I'm a frightened little fart, really.
I am very happy that I have stopped being scared of death. I'm not scared of it at all anymore. I know that it's inevitable, so why worry about it? But if you can keep yourself healthy by keeping the brain active, joining a club, doing physical exercise, eating the right kind of food, then you will have done your best.
How old are you, young man? How old? What's your age?
I'm sorry?
How old are you?
I'm 38, sir.
38?
Mm-hmm.
Baba. If you can live a long while, then it's great. That's my thing in life, to live a long while. Oh, there's goldfish there. See the goldfish? As long as I die old, I don't mind. I'm glad I didn't die young, but I don't feel old myself unless I look in that mirror.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Lovely jubbly.
Arigato. Arigato.
Lovely jubbly.
Bye. Bye. Sayonara.
Sayonara. your kids.
It's been a real education, hasn't it?
It's been lovely. Thank you for your gorgeous company, all of you. But I had such gorgeous bowel movements today. I had two. I had two.
I had one last
and
night.
It was so lovely. I just loved it.
I must tell you, the loos are wonderful.